Hello there, welcome back to the channel. Now today's video is yet another rehouse. This time it's the Psalmopoeus irminia. Now these guys really well known for being super fast tarantulas. Now I feel like I say that on every video, but Psalmopoeus, they really are quite a handful. They're kind of like the monkeys of the tarantula world. So so I'm going to do it the sensible way today. Now last time I rehoused one of these, it did a couple of laps of the outside of the container and my arm, so before I could even react. So today I'm going to be doing it the sensible way. So if you want to rehouse Psalmopoeus with no drama, watch this video. Now, being a Psalmopoeus, I've gone for a little bit more substrate than I normally would for your arboreals. Now, your Psalmopoeus, they do like to dig a little bit of a chamber at the bottom of the cork bark. So even though it is an arboreal spider, they do like to have an extra little hideaway. I've got this really nice shaped bit of cork bark here. Now I'm hoping that the tarantula is going to use that hole in the middle there. And it's quite a nice shape at the bottom. Now I do like to pop a bit of hot glue just on the end of my cork bark there. You don't really have to do that, but I do like to just do it for a bit of extra security, as I am putting it quite vertically. Now, I've been waiting to use this bit of wood for absolutely ages, so it's a really nice shape, and hopefully the tarantula will come out of the hole and use it as a bit of a perch. Now you can see that I've popped a water dish in here, but it's completely wonky, so I'm going to have to move that because that'll do my head in if I keep looking at it. Now, even though it is summer, I have managed to find some nice green moss. I managed to find a nice shady, damp wooded area. So, you might see some little bugs crawling around in here. Now there is just our native wood lice here in the UK. And there's probably a couple of other little bugs in there as well, but don't tend to worry about bugs in the UK too much. Obviously your wood lice, they do help to keep the cage clean, or keep the enclosure clean. A really nice thick moss, this one. So this was my first attempt to catch up the Psalmopoeus irminia. Now it's got a little bit of a chamber at the bottom there, and I could sort of just about see where the spider was, and I was just giving it a little poke from the side just to try and get it to come up into the bottle. Now I stayed like this for a little while trying this method, but it didn't really work out, so I had to move on to another plan and then remove the cork bark. So I had to remove the cork bark, and I was hoping I'd be able to keep it in there and just get it to go up into the bottle. But now I've got a little bit of space, it's a little bit easier. I can fully see where the tea is. There we go. They don't take much encouraging to go upwards. On to everybody's favourite part of rehousing, getting them into their nice fancy new home. Now I'm not sure whether this one is male or female yet. Now it did molt quite recently, but sex in the molt was inconclusive, so it was just a little bit too torn up. But it is looking quite leggy at the moment, but time will tell. Now just very gently touching it with the paintbrush here. There we go. I'm hoping it's going to sit out on this branch quite often, and we can get a nice good look at it. But I do suspect it will probably hide away quite a lot. So after a little wander around, it has finally settled down, but you can really see that lovely black velvety look and the orange markings. Now these guys, they do lack urticating hairs, which does make them a little unusual for New Worlds. So they do tend to be a little bit more defensive than your average New World tarantula, but they do tend to use their speed more than anything. But they can be a little bitey, so it's definitely something to bear in mind. But overall, you know, they're quite a simple tarantula to keep, really. They just do like it a little bit on the humid side. So I'll overflow the water dish and let the moss catch the excess water. But I may possibly put a big water dish on the floor as well, as it is a mesh top enclosure. But in terms of temperature, you know, I keep these guys sort of on the higher shelves in my rooms. They do like it a little bit warm. But generally, you know, they are quite easy tarantulas to look after. And, you know, they do have a good appetite as well. So, but, you know, if I had to choose only 5 tarantulas in the world, definitely choose one of these guys. So they really are one of my favourites, and they're certainly a hobby favourite. So I used the trusty bottle catch cup method with the Psalmopoeus. Now, there's absolutely no shame in using catch cups. You know, if you've got a super fast tarantula, you know, you want to be sure that there's not going to be any drama. You know, it's okay to use a catch cup. Now, I know, you know, people will probably say there's no consistency in how I move my tarantulas. You know, sometimes I do use a paintbrush method, sometimes I use catch cups. But I just kind of, you know, look at the tarantula and decide on the day, really. But really settled into its new home nicely now. It's dug itself a nice chamber at the bottom of the cork bark, and it comes out the little hole in the middle as well. So it looks really quite happy in its new home. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing the Venezuelan sun tiger. Give me a thumbs up if you do like the video, and I'll see you again soon.